Golden Sun turns 20 today. Why am I talking about Golden Sun? Shouldn't I be rambling about ancient arcade games from 1979? On top of that, this game is decently popular and beloved by many, and for good reason. It's a fantastic little RPG. It's made by Camelot, who was originally a Sega studio. Before they were making Mario games, Camelot was known as Sonic Software Planning, who was responsible for the Shining Force games. Shining Force is among my favorite RPGs. That's what got me into Golden Sun, actually. Well, that and...
Hey, it's me, FuseFall, and I love Golden Sun, but also https://www.youtube.com/watch?10xy08jr6s4. Anyway, like I previously mentioned, I absolutely adore Golden Sun. Keep track of how many synonyms for love I use here, because wow, I have a gigantic amount of appreciation for this franchise. Camelot gifted us with a masterpiece trilogy. Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age stand as two of my favorite games of all time. The world building, the in-depth battle system, the music, and most importantly, the dungeon design. Golden Sun is one of my favorite franchises in gaming and it only got 3 games. But what if I don't want to read Golden Sun and I want it to be on my Famicom? Meeb, you got a game for that?
Would I not? Of course I do. Here is Huangjin Taiyang, which just means Golden Sun in Chinese. Yep, this is a bootleg. Released by Shenzhen Nanjing, they actually have a bunch of neat bootlegs to their name. They specialize in demakes. Minish Cap, Chrono Trigger, and even Final Fantasy VII were ported to NES by them. It's really interesting seeing all these modern games in 8-bit.
Wow, these RPGs seem cool. Wonder how they adapted Golden Sun into a wacky bootleg story. Let's give it a read. Oh, it's all Chinese.
Yep, you won't be reading this one. I am genuinely curious what this says, but that's just how bootlegs are. But if you've played Golden Sun and the story is fresh in your mind, you can kind of get a vague idea what to do. However, a ton of things are cut down. Multi-screen dungeons with a bunch of puzzles are cut down to 3 rooms, and the overworld map just seems like a regular path.
My favorite part of this game is when it just decides to not function. For example, in the first dungeon of the game, Soul Sanctum, we had these statues you push. In normal Golden Sun, you just slightly nudge into them to push the statues. Nice and simple. Here in Golden Sun Famicom, you run at them or something? Maybe? We thought it might be momentum based, but it seems based on how the game scrolls. It feels completely random.
Later on in Soul Sanctum, you get to this part where you hop across stones. I guess the Famicom can't go through that hopping animation, but in its place are these chests that work like statues, meaning that they don't work. It just feels like this game will decide when things are supposed to function. You can stand at these and eventually it'll just happen, I guess. It can take a while and it gets really close to the point of frustration.
If Soul Sanctum barely functioning wasn't enough for you, how about the game just straight up breaking by the time you got to Treachery? Previously we had stuff like the bandits who normally have more of a role just kind of existing in this version, and the entirety of Goma Cave is just cut, so we are in for a weird time by this point. But then Treachery just breaks. There's no clear way to get past here, so we kinda just gave up after a while. We genuinely tried because I wanted to see how they recreated the rest of the game and how much was cut, but we genuinely could not find a way past here.
Sure, it was a bummer there. I wanted to see how awful the Mia sprite was and how many caves I could skip. The sprites in this game, oh boy, they are fantastic. Bootleg games always have that trope of strange looking characters, but I still get a good laugh. The only sprite here I'd call good is Isaac's. It does the job. It's not terrible, but there's nothing really fantastic about it. The battle sprites are also decent. Everything else? Garbage. Garrett looks like he just saw somebody dab in the present day. His whole body is devoid of any sense of comedy.
Hey, who is this priest with a Geno hat? Oh, it's Ivan. This looks literally nothing like Ivan. Anyway, let's see how he looks in the menu. Oh my god, what happened to Ivan? It's okay, it's chill, you know. Sprite looks kinda whack, but it has that purple that represents Ivan. How about when he's dead? What sick eldritch horror is this? This isn't Ivan, this is a 2000s creepypasta that your weird neighbor shows you. I know it's a cliche to make fun of sprites, but seriously, what happened here?
Let's see how our supreme being Kraden has held up. Oh no, it's generic old man and 8-bit RPG, how could they do this? Also seems that sprites get reused. You'll see different colored Garretts, Ivans, Jennas, and more across the map.
Satiros and Minardi look like they just got introduced to the wonders of Spencers instead of like menacing villains. Then you have the Jin in Dam. Are these Jin? Really? The Venus Jin look like frogs. One last random one. Here's Jenna in the original Golden Sun. Red to represent Mars element. Now here's Jenna in Golden Sun Famicom. Mint green. Yeah, when I think of fire, I think of mint green too. The Isaac sprite is pretty faithful, but the rest are all over the place. It's so weird.
Like, basically all the game, the battles are strange as hell. All the enemies just feel like random sprites they pulled. Sometimes you even have a random encounter with a giant Jinny. Also, since it's Chinese, we had to figure out these menus, and honestly, it was kind of a fun time. Both of us know Golden Sun pretty well, and we picked up on it sorta quickly. I think the ROM I downloaded had a hacked save file. Upon looking at the stats screen, we saw that Garrett and Isaac had maxed out stats and items, so we equipped the best stuff, and those battles became stupid easy. This was actually really fun. The game is so bad and broken, but vaguely like Golden Sun, so seeing what made it tick and how it adapts the original is fun to discover.
I really enjoyed seeing whatever cuts and changes this game made. It's so clearly bad, yet due to how awful it is, you can't look away. That really describes this entire experience, except the music. The music is just bad and not in a funny way. At one point I thought, hey, this music isn't too bad, except over time I realized, nah, this actually kinda sucks.
Overall, Golden Sun for the Famicom sure is a great bootleg. It's a bad game, but for a Golden Sun fan, it's interesting and funny. For the couple hours that we played, it was just a good time to laugh at the sprites, figure out the menus, and see the cuts that were made. It's a bummer that we didn't get that far in the game, but due to it being this obscure, there isn't a walkthrough or anything. If you somehow have beat this game, let us know in the comments what it was like and how to progress. To all the Golden Sun fans out there, if you know the game through and through, I'd also recommend you try this out with a buddy for yourself.
Golden Sun sure is something special, and I guess by extension, so is this Famicom bootleg. It was a pretty fun and chill time making a video on one of the weirdest bootlegs I've ever seen. Had a good time doing this. But that's all for now. I'm Fuse, signing out. See ya.
Okay, now that he's signed out, I have one more thing to say. This video was made for the Golden Sun 20th fan event. Go follow @IsaacAdepts on twitter.com. The fellas over there organized this event and spread the word of Golden Sun on the internet. Check it out. That's about it for now. I'm Amiiben, and I'll catch you later.